Well, hello. How are you today? Did you have a wonderful day? I've had a wonderful week, and I want you to sit right here and be my guest. I'm currently helping out some friends, doing some house sitting. Not going to tell you where, but I wanted to talk to you about a movie I saw today. Now, I've been seeing a lot of movies over the last week. Went to the Newport Beach Film Festival, as you can see with my shirt right here, with my little beanie, my swag that I got. And I saw so many great independent films, some good ones and some questionable ones. So it's kind of nice to be back into the real world and to be going to see mainstream movies. So please, let me welcome you to my review of the first mainstream movie of the summer. The big summer starting 2015. Big mainstream movie, first one since the film festival, before the film festival. So, of course, it happened. It opened up this weekend. Many people, Marvel fans, have been excited and waiting to see this film for such a very long time. I, on the other hand, I'm excited, but not too excited. What are we talking about? Of course, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now, of course, we know this is the sequel to Avengers 1 from 2012, but it's also the sequel to Iron Man 3, Cap 2, Thor 2, and probably Guardians of the Galaxy somewhere in there. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm just letting you know that I'm a film fan first. I like superhero movies. Yes, I do. I care about them. I'm glad they exist. I'm glad that people can read comic books on paper, on the computer, that they're so involved, that there's a huge world of comics, Comic-Con and all that stuff. I'll be honest with you, I'm just not really into it. Though I love superhero movies, and I enjoyed the first Avenger, though I feel like the first Avengers film from 2012 was made just for the fans and not for the average film goer like myself. Though I did like it, and I love the cast, and I actually prefer the films that came before Avengers from the new Marvel cinematic universe more than Avengers itself. I thought Avengers was a good movie, but extremely overrated, and I wasn't really excited to see this new one. Not at all. I have to be honest with you. The only excitement I had for this film was that there was this villain called Ultron, and it was going to be voiced by James Spader. So let's get into it. How did I feel about the film? Oh my gosh. What can I say? You know, from the moment this movie started, here's one of the problems about Avengers 1. The beginning of Avengers 1 seemed like, I don't know, I just never really got into it. It took a while for me to actually, I think I didn't get into Avengers 1 until like the last 45 minutes when they were in New York City and fighting Loki. That's when I actually really got into the film. But with Avengers 2, from the moment this movie started, I was emotionally involved. I loved this action set piece that was happening on screen. There's some long takes we get to see all of the Avengers, and there's a cool shot of all of them together, and there's all this great action going on as the story involves new characters that we get to know, and then leads up to how Ultron is created, and then how other characters like Vision and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are all involved, and I loved the pacing of this film. I loved how involved I was with this movie. As someone who's not a huge fan of the Marvel universe and doesn't know anything about it that much, you know, the basics, you know, that there's a character called Spider-Man, there's a character called Thor, there's a character called Iron Man, Captain America, and all that stuff, but I went with no expectations to see this film. Really, honestly, no expectations whatsoever to watch this film. And I walked away having one of the greatest movie-going experiences of my life. Now, last year with Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think is one of the best Marvel movies, but I would classify that more of a science fiction movie than a superhero movie. So I want to put that all in the cinematic universe, of course, as they're doing that. But I look at that as more of a science fiction. So I would say Guardians of the Galaxy is the best science fiction movie created by Marvel. And Avengers: Age of Ultron is, hands down, in my opinion, the best Marvel superhero movie ever made. That's just how I feel, and I also think it's one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Bold statement, I know you could totally disagree, but that's just how I felt about watching this movie. There's just so much great action, and there's lots of action going on, lots of character development, lots of characters. We get to know more what happens with the Hulk. We get to know more what happens with Black Widow. We actually get to know more what happens with Hawkeye. There's some nice stuff, and I think what's so great about this film is that there's an amazing villain. And I know from what I've heard from friends, the Marvel Universe doesn't really have a great catalog of villains. They're most known for having great heroes, where DC is known for having great heroes and great villains. I didn't know who Ultron was until about a year ago or so, whenever they announced this movie, but I was excited that James Spader was the voice, and he is amazing. Just by his voice alone, he is amazing. The rest of the cast, there's Elizabeth Olsen, new, and Kick-Ass, he's new. They're really great, and of course, everybody else we know who's a part of this film. There's some more surprises. Andy Serkis makes an appearance in this film as not as himself, but you could actually see it's Andy Serkis, so that was really nice as well. But my favorite aspect of this movie, I think the best action sequence, and there are tons of action sequences, and there's like probably a top 10 action sequences in this film, but my favorite action set piece comes when the Hulk is being influenced, I believe, by Scarlet Witch, and he's just terrorizing this city and destroying things, and Iron Man has to come in with this Hulk suit, and they have this huge battle right there in the city, and it just I wasn't a big fan of what happened in Man of Steel when General Zod and Superman were destroying the city. I felt like that was done in a mean-spirited way, and done in a way where I didn't care about what was happening. So when they're destroying the city, I just didn't care. There was no emotional involvement. With this one, I just cared about so much. I even cared about the people running around trying to survive. And so I felt like what Man of Steel did wrong in that situation when destroying a city, in this film, Age of Ultron, they did it perfectly right, in that sense that they put so much weight behind what was happening in that situation. I really cared. I cared about the people, the people that live there. I cared about Iron Man. I cared about Hulk, and it looked great. Another thing is, the movie just looks great. The cinematography is great. You can actually see all the action unfold on screen. There's a really great story. There's some great surprises. If you're someone like me, where you're not familiar with the Marvel Universe, and you don't know all the details about Vision, I didn't know much about Vision and his story, and I don't know much about Ultron. So all this stuff felt new and just incredible. There's so much excitement stuff going on. And here's the kicker. I felt like Joss Whedon, who I'm not a big follower of his. I don't hate on him. There's nothing wrong with him, and I think what he does for his fans and what he does for the community of television and movies is awesome. But I felt like he just had a great balance of everything that was happening here. There was never, to me, maybe watching again I might find a mistake here or there, but for me there was never really a major misstep to get you onto the next action sequence. And there was some nice emotional beats that happened between Hawkeye and his situation, and of course between Hulk and Black Widow. Iron Man's great. I mean, there's comedy. There's all the stuff that I didn't think worked in the first one really works in this one. I know a lot of people might think the opposite, and that's perfectly fine. I have friends that do. We had a great discussion about that, but I just think all the comedy and the sense of humor, and then all the mystery, and then there's elements where the Scarlet Witch can influence the people's mind, and they see things, so secondary characters might come in through their mind about situations maybe they lost out on, and so that added some character development. I think a lot of these characters, and there might be some characters that got kind of shunned out a little bit from time to time, but overall, this just takes what we've already learned about all these characters that we love, whether we read the books or not, comic books or not, and just taking it to another level to get us more involved than we've ever been before, especially as someone who's just an average film goer that just loves to go to the movies and see all kinds of movies, from the big stuff to the small stuff. This was just a great way to start the summer, and I hope it just gets better and better and better. And for someone who was not expecting anything special, really, I had no expectations about them. I would try to go in with open mind, at the same time just not expect anything, and hopefully it would wow me enough to at least like it again, like I did with Avengers 1. But this time around, extremely impressed me. Everything, the technical, the special effects, I enjoyed every aspect of this movie, and I just really can't wait to go see it. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and I thought the 3D was good. IMAX was great. I also want to mention I saw a trailer for Tomorrowland, like a clip of Tomorrowland in IMAX. Awesome. And I saw the 3D trailer of the new Star Wars teaser, and that was one of the greatest moments of my life. I'm so excited about that movie. But overall, yeah, I can understand, or not, I should say, if anybody has any negative thoughts and feelings, I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with anybody who may not agree with what I have to say in this review and might have some more problems with the movie. It's perfectly okay. But for me, as someone who is a fan and then not a fan, but just loves a good summer action movie, this hit every right note. It totally did. And I really appreciated it. And I just can't wait to see it again. In the comment box below, are you a fan of the Marvel Universe cinematically? What did you think of the film? Do you think this is a misstep? Or do you think this is better than the original? To me, it just makes me more excited about Infinity Wars or anything that's coming from Marvel. And so I'm hoping they just get better and better. Looking forward to Civil Wars coming out next year. I'm looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Black Panther. And I loved Ultron. The character of Ultron was just so creepy, and James Spader stole this movie. And the great thing about it is every time someone is in this film that you like, they steal the movie, and then James Spader comes in and steals it even more. Some of the best action sequences I've seen in a long time. The movie just looks beautiful, and I bet it's going to look great on Blu-ray, and I can't wait to own the film. Just what an amazing experience that just made me feel like a kid again, seeing one of these action movies for the very first time. I would count at least 30 times where I just went, wow, or I laughed, or I was shocked, or I was just completely entertained. A lot of fun, so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me and sitting down here and watching me do this review. I really appreciate it. I love this film. It's my favorite movie so far. I know a movie's going to get better, and I'm looking forward to smaller films and Oscar films. But right now, as of right now, Avengers Age of Ultron is my favorite movie of the year. It's the best film I've seen so far this year. No joke. Though I look forward to seeing smaller films and all. I said that before. I loved it. I love this film, and I think this is a great summer film. It's a great action movie, and Joss Whedon, I look forward to seeing what he comes up with next, hopefully something original, especially for his fans. But as someone who is just a casual viewer, thank you so much to everybody, cast, crew, for making a great action movie, a great superhero movie, a great comic book movie, and just an amazing movie in general. And for that, I am going to give Avengers Assemble. They didn't, yeah. I'm going to give Avengers Age of Ultron, I'm going to give it a solid 4 stars out of 4.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.